Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the presentation. And just so you know, this presentation, there will be a PDF version of this available, and it does have many active links in it. So it will have a lot of information, and it will be able to take you many places, okay? And I will take you some of those places as well within the meeting. So we're going to go ahead and we'll get started. So thank you for attending. Here are your directors, okay? And if any of the directors would like to just, say hello, say a few words, then please feel free to do so right now. Mr. McCarthy, you got anything?
Hi, y'all. I'm Mr. McCarthy. I'm the color guard director here. I also, I will also be doing some of the drill and visual design for the marching band. And that's really all. That's me. So nice to meet everyone.
Your phone? What's wrong?
Okay, we have Mr. Munoz and Mr. Garza on staff too. You can see their lovely pictures, and of course you have their email addresses here. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so here's our purpose, and you can read it, okay? But hopefully the font is large enough. But we have many wonderful things that go on within the program. We've had several accolades at local, state, and national level with different parts of our program, and that's all fine and good. And we love creating all of those moments for our students. But the big thing that we like to really focus on is that we do all of this in a family atmosphere and just a positive learning environment. And so that's just so crucial to our philosophy and how we do things. And so, so if you're new to the program, then you should expect to see that. It's a wonderful place with wonderful people, and we just have a great time doing what we do. Okay, so here's just an overview of the meeting, things that we will cover, and you will have an opportunity for questions at the very end. Okay, so now let's first talk about communication. How do we communicate? Different ways. What we're going to try to do is just have our website, mcneilband.org, kind of like a hub of information. Hopefully, if you have a question about something, that would be the first place that you can go to find that. And then we're introducing something new this year, okay? And it's this band app. You see, it says we're going to replace Remind. So older families, Remind will not be a thing with the McNeil Band after this school year. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take you to the band app. Okay, and so you will have to sign up, very easy to do. Oh, and the district Wi-Fi is fantastic. And so once you create your account, then you can join certain classes, okay? And so these first three right here are the ones with our program. These other ones are things that I had to join. So the McNeil HS Band, that's going to be for the students. And so communication that goes through this one is it's going to be, say we're at a performance or we're on the bus and we need to communicate to the students and make sure you have this ready. Or if it's the night before, hey, get here at this time, remember, have these things. So that's very, very much student-centered communication. If there are parents who, and let's just put it this way because they've talked to me and I'm a parent as well, if you don't trust that your child will remember or read said communication and you want to also receive that, then you are welcome to join it. However, it's not really going to pertain to you a lot of the time, but if you want to do that, then you can. Percussionists, you will join the percussion one, and then we have one for the parents. So we will communicate specifically to parents on certain things. And so this presentation will go in the pages of the McNeil High School Band and the Parents and Guardians page at the end of this meeting. So you can then access this presentation through the band app. The whole goal of that is for you to create your account today, okay? So, so please do that so that we can actually start communicating, because we really don't have any central, I guess, information source to have everyone's contact information yet. All right, so there's the band app. Okay, and of course we have email. Within the presentation, the active link on this right here is to email me directly. And so please feel free to do that. And then of course we have social media. Instagram is the most active one, but with the Instagram, we have one for the band, we have one for the percussion, and then we have one for the color guard. They each have their own pages, and you can click on all these to take them to those respective pages. Please follow us. Okay, we have a pretty decent following on Instagram, but we're always trying to increase our presence there. And right now we're featuring our seniors on a daily basis. We have a senior spotlight that we're doing, and we have some good plans for the future for that. We will also have our marching show reveal on Instagram as well. And of course, for us older people, we still use the Facebook. And so that is essentially a mirror of our Instagram page. But please join that group as well. That's the McNeil High School Band. That's the name of it. Okay, so now let's get into the calendar. So always available at mcneilband.org. So let's go there. And we'll go to the calendar. We'll go to the calendar. Okay, so the stuff that's really coming up right now, this is all stuff that's going on with the current McNeil band, okay? But we have, and it's hard to distinguish, but this May 18th right here, we have an introductory marching rehearsal, and it's gonna start at 5:15. It's just gonna be a couple hours. Not going to be intensive. There's a little description when you click on it, but no instruments needed for this. We just want, we're going to be outdoors for a couple hours. So, you know, sunscreen, athletic wear, and water are good things to have. So that's kind of going to be kind of our only thing to do as outdoor band stuff before we actually get started later in the summer. And we have our night of percussion at the PAC on the 13th at 7 p.m. where our percussion studio will be performing. And then the following week, we have our spring concert also in the Performing Arts Center. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the summer. And this is really important stuff. So you see that, yeah, we start in late July. So in older parents or more, experienced band parents, you know, they can attest to this, that, yeah, you know, their kid was joining band and then they got to band and they didn't realize, oh my gosh, high school band, there's so much to it. And marching band, I had no idea what all goes into marching band. Marching band is planned year round for the next year. It requires a lot of people, a lot of designers from all over the country. And there's a lot of financial investment that goes into it. And it kind of has to be a very exact science. And that is hard to do when we don't know exactly who's going to be with us. And so, because once it's set, it's hard to reset that. So I say all that because attendance at our rehearsals is one way that we know that we can count on you to be there. And so please plan around these dates. So you see percussion and guard, they will start essentially full time on July 19th. And then the entire band will be July 26th. And so these will basically be 8 to 5. We'll get times on there up there once we can get all those details worked out. But late July is whenever we get started. Let's go into August. All right, so then we rehearse these first few weeks of August. Plan on there being, these are mainly, again, 8 to 5. There will be a couple evenings per week that we will do a third block, and we will do that in the evening. And we will get those dates and times up here. This Watermelon Social, this is a performance. So all of these are mandatory. Once you get into it, if you're new to marching band, you will see that there's so much for these kids to learn. They just need just lots of time and lots of reps doing it, and they will fall behind if they're not there, unfortunately. So we have these Saturday rehearsals. So all McNeil band families, these are kind of new. All right, these are going to be just mornings that we're going to have. It's going to be an opportunity for us to get caught up. Okay, and then here's when school starts. So I know it can look like a lot right here. Essentially, every kid will rehearse 3 days per week after school. And so percussion has their rehearsal on Monday. We're not, I guess, 100% positive where the guard's going to go either Monday or Tuesday, if they're going to go percussion or winds. Mr. McCarthy can help us figure that out. But then we have full band rehearsal basically Wednesday and Thursday, assuming we have a Friday game. Okay. And so let's talk about, we'll get there, actually, that's later in. So then let's go ahead and move on. Directors, is there anything that I'm forgetting? Anything? No.
I think you're good so far. Yeah.
Thank you. September, so you see we have all these games and everything. Here's this Thursday night game. Ugh, okay, and it's out of town. So we've decided right here that we do not, it's gonna be a late night, most likely Friday during band periods. They're just gonna have time off to rest, get caught up on homework or whatever, and no one's gonna be in a place to rehearse Friday after school, so we're not gonna do that. So we're just gonna forego that third rehearsal that week. We have something new right here, this Marchathon, okay? And that's gonna be the culmination of one of our fundraisers. And so this will be at Kelly Reeves. So we're gonna actually perform this at Kelly Reeves, which we're really, really excited about. And then this BOA Austin, this is one of the dates that it's our biggest volunteering day of the year. So we host one of the largest contests in the country, and it's all McNeil. We get all of the proceeds from it, but it's just a lot of people. It's a lot of fun, and our families always end up they love doing it. Okay, look at this. We'll go ahead and jump to October. Okay, this SAT date. I ask that you do not sign up for this SAT. There's one in September and there's one in November. So please avoid this October one because we will have a contest that day. And you will learn that even 1 or 2 people missing from a performance, it can be a big deal. So we just need 100% attendance to every performance and rehearsal. Okay, and then so October is contest month. All right, so they're all local contests except for this Bands of America San Antonio, which is in the Alamo Dome. And we can kind of plan on performing Friday. We don't know what time yet. And so, but we have, and this is new, we have our UIL contest on a Tuesday this year. This is going in line with much of what the state does. It is an evening, it's not a late night because there's no finals, it's just one performance and go really, and it frees up a Saturday, okay? And we have this rehearsal right here. This will not be an all-day rehearsal, okay? But we will need to get that back in there, especially because we lose some rehearsal right here. Directors, am I good so far? Good? Okay, and then we kind of culminate that first week of November, okay? And we're looking at a drumline contest. Hopefully, we're looking at the scheduling for that. So that's essentially the calendar for the summer and the fall. All right. Now let's talk about, what are we going to do really in the summer? So our goal is to be able to play all of the music by the end of the summer band, and we're going to start learning aspects of the show, the visual aspects of the show, as much as we can, because we can learn in one day in the summer what it takes several days or even a week to learn once school starts. And so we want to move as quickly as possible in summer band. And so what's going to help us with that is if kids can show up and they know their music. Now, the individual parts of the show music, I believe, are going to be quite playable. Okay, and if students just spend some time learning that, then we will just be so far ahead of where we normally are in past years. And so we'll just have a better starting point. And so we will give some playing assignments where they will just submit those online. Okay, a big part of this is not having to kind of restart your playing. And so we highly encourage private lessons in our program. Before the pandemic, we had 85 to 90% of our musicians in private lessons. We have a top-notch faculty, and we plan on getting those numbers back up to that. But we can start those over the summer, and we highly encourage that. Many, or I would say, the top band programs in the state and in the country, they have a high percentage of those kids who continue throughout the summer. It is required by Roanoke ISD that you enroll into the private lesson program. There's no fee to actually join the program. It's just paying the private teacher themselves, but you have to enroll so that we can get the information and get it to the private teacher so y'all can connect and then figure out when and where everything's going to happen. Almost all the lessons will happen on campus during the school day. During the summer, that'll have to be worked out. So this is an active link right here to take you to the enrollment page. Okay, so things that we're going to want to, that the students will learn once they get to us in the summer. We will go over some physical conditioning. It is not going to be boot camp, but there is a physical aspect of this. And we understand that over a typical summer, much less over an entire year, where a lot of kids have not been, we'll just say, as active as normal, we're going to have to kind of retrain their bodies. And we will start very slow just to get them acclimated, but their nutrition is going to be a big part of this. I don't expect them, trust me, I'm the parent of a teenager, I get it. But starting to get some real food and non-carbonated beverages regularly in their bodies, because every year kids, I'm not gonna do that. And then they show up like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So we will teach them choreography. What? Yes, choreography. And so we have professionals who help us with that, visual training, all the marching aspects, and of course, music training. There's a lot to cover in summer band, which is why we need everyone there all the time, because it's not just the marching show that we're preparing for. We have to prepare for football games and any community stuff that we're going to do. So we have to learn all of this stuff we're going to learn in the stands that we're going to play. We have to play all the songs for the drill team. And so there's just a lot of music. And then of course, just new physical concepts that kids, they have to just be there to learn and do. So that's kind of what happens over summer. So expectations, experienced band families can say it's high school band is different than middle school band. And I would say that next year we're going back to, as normal as we can provide. And so a lot of that is going to be the expectations, which has been very different than, we'll say, most of the school system this past year. One thing is, it is a state requirement that that every student in band, in high school band, has a physical examination on file, and it's good for 2 years. So basically you get one before the freshman year and the junior year, and there has to be one on file. And it goes, this rank one is, if you have a child who has been in Roanoke ISD, any athletics, then the district uses rank one for all of that. It's the same system, you just choose band for that. And then it says, yes, they've done it. Green, they're good to go. Red, they're missing these forms and they cannot participate. We urge you to take care of this sooner rather than later, because you're not supposed to participate really anything physically without this. And we want to just avoid any kind of health issues whatsoever. We've talked about the mandatory attendance. Yeah, this past year, and I've seen it a lot, people have interpreted things to be kind of optional. That is not going to be the case. All right, we have to be able to rely on it. So rely on students to be there and to work. And so whenever we're designing a show, it's done months in advance. And so Mr. McCarthy is our drill designer. And so Mr. McCarthy, would you like to kind of speak as far as the process of like whenever you're creating dots and then people, and then is it possible to actually change that and what that goes into?
Yeah, so I'm doing all the drill, which are if you're new to band, that's all the pictures and forms you see on the field of the band and color guard make when we're doing the show. In the beginning of the year or in the beginning of the process, we talk about the show, et cetera, and then we basically have numbers for how many people are in each line, 10 trumpets, 8 trumpets, so many tubas, whatever. So the only way that actually works is if all those spots are filled. So when we put down a number for the program, and I think there's going to be 10 trumpets, but then only 7 commit, it looks like there's a problem. It looks like there's a big mistake in the picture. Is it fixable? Everything's fixable. Is it very hard to fix? Yes. Because essentially before summer band starts, at least 5/6 of the show is complete before the summer band even comes. So that not only will that cause a lot of work for me to go back and try to fix that, but also causes a lot of problems for your fellow students and teammates, because then all of them have to learn a new spot. So it's a really cool product. The thing is just everyone just needs to commit and show up. So once again, to conclude, yes, doable, very, 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 very frustrating and hard to do.
And I would say very inefficient use of time if we have to do that. So in addition to, trying to guess how many, because we don't know exactly who's going to show up in July, we can say they're on this list or they've done this. We have to plan for a smaller number of students in each section who are going to be the ones who are in that, we call it the competitive show, okay? And so for the reasons that Mr. McCarthy said, it looks wrong if we don't have all of the spots filled. And so we have to kind of create a cushion, because we don't know who's going to show up. We don't know the skill level. Are people going to be ready to do that? And so the people who aren't quite ready, they're going to be secondary. Everybody's going to start in a competitive spot, and they're going to be given an opportunity to learn that, and there'll be some sharing of spots right there. But eventually we're going to choose these people are going to be in the competitive show. These people are in the secondary spot. Those people are still very, very important to the success of the marching band that year, okay? And they definitely have a very important role to play. And then punctuality matters. So yeah, showing up on the day of, yes, is great, but we are limited in how many minutes we are allowed to rehearse. And so we want to maximize every single one of those minutes. And so if we have people who are just showing up late, and we don't have everybody there, then it's not really getting any better, because then somebody is going to be very noticeably out of it because they weren't there on time. So if we say rehearsal starts, let's say the thing in a couple of weeks is at 5:15, that means that most likely they will be arriving, getting out of their car between 4:45 and 5 o'clock in order to start and be ready on time. So, because if you pull up, we all know this, but it doesn't really show all the time. And so we just have to get kids here earlier. 5 minutes early is so much better than 5 minutes late. All right, and we will try to do a good job of saying we start at this time, and so maybe here these people arrival times, and here's what you do at these times until we kind of figure that out. And then all we ask is we give you best effort. We understand that what we are asking people to do before they do this is something very foreign, and we know that you're going to be out of your comfort zone, and we encourage that, and we take pride in that. We have a very safe atmosphere for people to try these new things and feel comfortable doing it, because to be honest, nobody's really good at these new things at the very beginning, but when we're all encouraging each other, then it's so much easier for people to want to do it, and that's how we're going to get a lot better. Okay, so now let's just go into the finances and registration, which is coming up very soon. Okay, so boom. Okay, so look at this. Look at this page right here. You see the dates. We'll say that before July 1st, we will have spent on the marching show about $50,000. Yes, there are that many zeros in there. And then by August 18th, which is when school starts, we will probably have spent another $20,000. And then throughout the season, we're likely to spend in the ballpark of another $40,000. What? Yes, it is that much. And I would say those are not over exaggerations really at all. So the reason I say that is because we have registration coming up on May 15th, okay? And that's going to be online. One day we will do it in person again, but it's going to be online, McNeilband.org. And that is where we need everyone to register, because that's how we get all of the contact information, medical information, which we have got to have. There are always instances throughout the season where certain individuals, they have some kind of health issue and it's in rehearsal, or we're on a bus, or we're at a contest or something, and we have got to have access to this medical information, and we do that through the registration. So people will not be able to participate if they do not register, okay? And it's also where you're gonna order different items, especially new members that you don't have yet. And it's where everybody's going to choose their meals for the entire season for games and contests. And it's where you will also make your payments for the dues. And so the dues are on par with the rest of the district. And honestly, they're lower than many programs in the area. And so if you need assistance with those fees, then there is a financial aid application. Okay, so we ask that that you just fill that out if you're needing any financial assistance with that. And all these payments go through the band boosters. Okay, and they are definitely our supportive arm. And 80% of what we're able to do is because of the band boosters. And so this also is one of those ways that we can say, okay, this person will be here. So, are they present? Did they register? And, did they submit an audition video? All those things. So we have this list of people, but we have to say, well, we haven't really heard from these people. Well, these people didn't register. So we won't know exactly what to plan for when Mr. McCarthy is creating the drill. So it's just going to be just so much easier on us if you will just go ahead and register May 15th. It will be open for a while, but we want everyone to get it done on May 15th. So you saw those numbers, and that's only for marching season. As far as how much everything is going to cost, that is not, marching band is a portion of the year. You saw that goes through basically November 5th. All right, we have the entire rest of the season. We have an entire winter guard season. We have a concert season. We have our own solo contest. We have an ensemble we have so many things that go on. We travel. We're going to get our jazz band going again. We have clinicians come out. There's so much that we try to offer the students, and so it just costs money. So we are doing our best to not bombard you with fundraising. And people are like, oh gosh, she's going to talk about money. So what our goal is we want to have fewer fundraisers and create as big of a bang for the buck. And so basically what we're asking is the few fundraisers we are doing, if we can get maximum participation, then we don't need to worry about this, and we don't have to we don't have to feel the pressures or ask for more participation, okay? And we're trying to do fundraisers that people feel good about doing. All right, so our very successful one that's going around that we've had the last few years is our crowdfunding, and that's where the Marchathon's coming in. So that's going to start during summer band, and that's just getting people to go to the website to donate. We're trying to rely on other people to fund this. This past year, we brought in over $30,000 on this fundraiser. We're going to shoot for $50,000 this year. We're incorporating the Marchathon to where it is going to culminate with a performance, and we will invite all of the donors to come and watch that Marchathon performance at Kelly Reeves. So that's a big one, okay? And then we have concessions that for the football games around that do require some volunteer hours, and you'll hear more about that. Just know that we're going to ask people to work concession stands, okay? It's one of the responsibilities of the high school band programs. Bands of America Austin Regional. It's a big one. Last time we hosted it, we made about $30,000 in that one day, but that is an all hands on deck day, and that is September 25th on the calendar. And then we're starting a new fundraiser this year, and this is going to be, I think it could be really good. Basically, if you see some communities do this, American Flags, you can start an annual subscription, and we will bring American flags and post them up in your yard for certain holidays where that's appropriate. And then they'll bring them there, they'll be there for the day, and we'll pick them up the next day. And of course, we have our mulch, which is kind of our spring fundraiser. And so that's kind of another all hands on deck, because we have to deliver hopefully like 10,000 bags of mulch or more. Hopefully we can get 15,000 bags sold. So those are our main fundraisers. And this brings in quite a bit of money. But so, you know, the events are really where we're active participation in the actual bringing in of the money is going to be the crowdfunding and the mulch. And the American Flags is going to be a little bit, it's not so intensive. It's like this day. So we can take those kind of all throughout the year. And then, of course, at registration, if you're like, I don't know if I want to do the volunteering or fundraising, there is an option right on the registration, and then you can just add that to your cart, and then you can pay for that at the very end. Okay, I've been struggling with the spring band trip. So we did not get to do one last year. We did not get to do one this year. And so I think band trips are just one of the coolest and most fun and most memorable parts of the band experience. We do small trips and we do big trips, and we've done medium-sized trips. So what I'm trying to do is get parent feedback on what I should start looking into for next year. And of course, you know, with COVID, that just adds a huge wrinkle to things as well. So here are kind of the options that I'm looking at. All right. So if you see right here, costs are estimated. These are not quotes that I have, but we've done these trips in the past. And so these are kind of ballpark figures. And before I go any further, I will say that the district has now implemented a requirement starting June 1st that whenever there's overnight travel, that students are put 2 per room for social distance, right? But that does affect the cost. So I think for most types of student travel, that's fine. But whenever all of the cost is on the families, you know, then it's a little bit different. So here are the options. All right. So the first one, San Francisco. What a wonderful trip. All right. There's much more that we do besides these things in San Francisco. And we did this a few years ago, but you see, this is 4 people to a room. It was just under $1,600, but here's the double. So 2 people, you know, it increased the cost that much. So again, this is not a quote, but it's just a ballpark from what it was. Okay, so that's one option. And my goal is to get whatever trip that we're doing, I want to get it going so that you can make your payments to the travel company as soon as possible, and we can spread that out over as many payments. Whoa. Okay, I don't know what happened there. All right, hopefully you can see this. Is that one of the directors? Mr. Garza, was that you? No? All right.
Oh, someone's annotating over there.
Oh, okay. Another one is New Orleans. Okay, this does not require flights. It is a lengthy bus ride, though. We've done this 3 times. We've done 3 different types of trips, and they've all been wonderful. And so it's kind of a mid-range, and you can see the prices right here for the quad and the double. And then to do a more local trip would be Dallas, okay? And so you can see that the price difference is significant. And so I just need to get a reading because, you know, there's many different ways you could say, oh, I just want my kid to just go. It's been so long, because only our senior class will have ever been on a band trip, a high school band trip this next year. And so some people might just be itching, yes, I want to do it. And parents will be like, I want to go too. But then there's also, I don't know if I want my kid to travel. So I understand all that. So what I'm asking is your input. Okay. This is like a 5 question. It can take literally under 60 seconds for you to fill out. And so if you would just click on this questionnaire. Mr. Garza, did you put it in the chat?
Mr. Munoz did just right now.
Okay. All right. If you would just do that very quickly, that will help me a lot so that I can move forward in planning. That's kind of all I have. Directors, is there anything else that you feel like that I missed?
No, I think you got it all. I think we could just take however you want them to take questions.
Yes. So if you have any questions, then now is a great time to ask them. You can put them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. I don't have the chat open, but I can find it. Okay. So if there are any questions right now, please, let us have them. Good question. The band audition results, we are planning on having those out by the end of the week. Volleyball and football, do they join? Oh, I'm losing the chat. Hang on. Oh, all these questions are good.
I'll monitor them for you. You can go ahead.
Okay. Do they join on May 18th and in the summer? If you have a volleyball or football kid, let's have a I guess like an individual conversation. We can do that through email, or we can do it over the phone, but there's just a handful of kids right there. Let's go ahead. If you would just contact me and we can set up a time to talk, I think that would be probably more beneficial. Will we be sent a link to rank 1? So in this presentation is a link. However, I went to it yesterday and it's a district website and it is not active, I guess, right now, but it actually brings you to a district web page for the rank 1. When do we pick up at-home instruments? Once we have a good way to communicate to everyone, like the band app, then we can say, hey, on this day, we can come and check out instruments, but we will do that before. We'll do it late May, early June. The directors will still be here then, but we'll be still going with this school year until then. We send a recording of the Zoom call. What we will do is we will upload it to YouTube and we will send the link out. And so you will be able to access it as well.
You're going to post the slides somewhere, right, where they can click through it?
Yes, there would be a PDF version of this slide presentation. I will send it through the band app. It'll go on the parent page and on the band page as well. The fee for marching band per student is, I want to say for musicians, it's like around $580, I think, this year. So it should be, I think, similar to what it was going to be, or a little bit lower than what it was going to be last year. The private lesson form requires us to enter class periods. Then you know what, then why don't you wait until, that's a very, very good point. When band placement, results go out later this week, then you'll know. So basically when ensemble is first, it'll say on there, actually on the form. So you'll just say whatever class it is on there. Okay, do current 8th graders come on May 18th? Yes, 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 yes. So everyone in the band program who's going to be in the band program next year, we're launching on May 18th. Yes, yes. So is the meeting over? Yes, other than taking questions. Yes. Mr. McCarthy, the guard, Lucia is asking, do you want the guard on the 18th?
I'll let you guys know. As of right now, probably not, because we're already working on fall stuff right now, but I'll keep the guard posted on that.
I see this about my son already in private lessons. I would have, I guess, follow-up questions with that. Can you send me that question in an email, please? That would be great. What COVID restrictions are you expecting for the fall? Whew. How will it affect summer marching rehearsals and the show? I don't know what to expect. What I have heard is that, well, I know the district has already changed their outdoor policy on masks and social distancing. And so, but we have done a really good job of being safe with all of this. We've had 0 cases with band, and even when we've been doing indoor stuff. So I can't really speak as to what we will do, because a lot of this has to do with what the district says as well. Outdoor rehearsals, I don't see that really affecting it at all. I'll say that. So indoor, that remains to be seen. But we've been doing those this semester as well. So to be determined, but I promise you we're gonna be safe when it comes to all of that. Registration is for all band students or only the new, it's for every single person. Everyone must register every single year. Oh, Kelly. Dayton, we'll just say pause on that, okay? Pause on that. Can we send a remind? Band placement results are out. Yes, we will do that. Yes. Okay, is the summer marching band starting the 18th or the 25th? It depends on, it's the 19th and the 26th. Percussion and guard students are starting on July 19th, and then the entire band will be there. So basically the woodwinds and percussion, or woodwinds and brass, will join them on July 26th. Okay, you have a band rehearsal on the 18th. It ends at 5. Oh, it ends at 5, then yes, then yes, please come. Absolutely. Daughters in the Guard is also in concert band. Is she required to participate in the concert performance? The concert performance right now that we're doing are current McNeil students. And so whatever they've been doing, for our kids who have been coming to our after school rehearsals, then yes, come to the concert. Absolutely. Is that Carol Gibbons? Will cut time still be the way? Oh dear. I would love to get rid of cut time, but we need something. So to be determined on that. Let me think. Leadership results will be available. Hopefully tomorrow. So those are all the questions I see in the chat. If any of you would like to, our band and guard costs the same. No, there is a difference in those fees. guard fees are higher than band fees, and you'll see in there, there's just more stuff that they have. So, so no, they are not the same. So if you would like any individual questions answered, then you're welcome to stay on. Otherwise, thank you for attending, and we will see everyone very soon. Please register on May 15th. Thank you, everyone.